Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am very happy to be back. And as usual, we're going to give it, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds till some people come into the room. We just got our first entrant. Welcome. So, today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2020, tax day squared, I guess. And believe it or not, Barack Obama is still the most corrupt president in the history of our country. So, now that that's out of the way, this is My Political Truth, and my name is Jerry Tomchinsky. Welcome back once again. And it's been an interesting news cycle today, to say the least. I mean, there are times that it's about that time for me to come on, and I think, am I going to talk about this again? Am I going to talk about racism again? Am I going to talk about violence again? Am I going to talk about COVID-19 again? Am I going to talk about Biden again, etc.? You get it. And it seems like every day something new pops up where I have to talk about it. There's not enough people that talk about the things that I do. And that's not to say that I'm doing anything special or, I should be recognized or whatever. I'm doing what every media outlet should strive to do. And it's really simple. The one thing I'm doing that every media outlet is trying to do, that isn't trying to do, is I'm bringing you facts on a nightly basis. And of course, I'm bringing in my opinion because this is my group, this is my broadcast, and I can do what I want. I am not a journalist. I never claimed to be one. I'm just an American that is super sick of what's been going on in this country. So, we're going to start with the story of the day, right? And I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but there is something rotten in Denmark. It's from Shakespeare. Calm down. So Florida, my adopted home, where I live now. Reporter by the name of Robert Guadarrama from Fox 35 in Orlando yesterday broke the story that Florida labs and hospitals and testing stations are reporting the results falsely. Now, what do I mean by that? There have been, as of last night, when I first heard this report, they said there was a few, and I quote Robert Guadarrama, because I'm sure last night he didn't have the information that we have today, that there was a few labs in Florida that reported strictly positive results, 100% positive. So let's say 100 of us go in, and let's say 50 of us would test positive. That's all they would report. They wouldn't report the other 50 that tested negative. And I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. I'm ashamed. I don't even want to say angry anymore. I can't get angry every day, I can't get angry at stuff that I knew went on. I know there's political corruption. I know that the government lies. Now, by this knowledge, I should know that this is definitely a serious possibility. And you know what made my light bulb go off? I don't know if you guys remember this scientist by the name of Rebecca Jones. She was let go from the Florida Health Department, and then she went on a media tour saying how Florida is doctoring the results the opposite way. So bringing down the death rates, bringing down the total infected rates, bringing down. Do you understand why she did that now? Because I do. It's clear as day for me. It's absolutely clear as day for me. You people out there that lock yourselves up in your house because CNN tells you to, or MSNBC tells you to. Oh my God, Florida had 15,500 positive results. Yeah. When maybe 8,000 of them are probably a sham. I'm being generous with that number. I wouldn't be surprised if out of 15,500 reported positive results the other day, that 14,000 were incorrect. I'm going to go on record as saying that's what I think. I think, and again, this is my opinion, I think the far left liberals, the progressives, the imbeciles, the psychotics, the psychopaths, will literally do anything. Lie, cheat, steal. They will kill. They will kill. Do not get it twisted. Just because they wear a suit and tie, I promise you, that they are the most evil people and corrupt people in the world, in the country. I don't care. I do not believe a thing politicians say. That goes for Democrats, and it goes for, I would say, a solid 75 to 85% of Republicans. Now, the reason I'm a Donald Trump fan is because, and again, this is for the slow ones out there, for the special ones, he's not a politician. Do you understand that? He was just a man living in this country who, just like me and just like you, and I don't mean the liberals, I mean my smart audience, my common sense audience, he was sick of it. He was sick of the lies. He was sick of the false promises. He was sick of the campaigns every 4 years that literally promised the world and delivered absolutely nothing. Delivered absolutely nothing. So the left wants to go on a tirade about Donald Trump is this and Donald Trump is that. Well, my dear, Donald Trump is nothing compared to the evil that is on the left. And I hold each and every one of you that votes Democrat at any point. If you could vote Democrat these days, like I said last night, you should be locked up in a mental asylum. Hogwarts, Bellevue, I don't care. Go, leave, goodbye. You're not wanted. You need serious help. Hey, Lucy, welcome. Mandy, Jason, Andrew, Mom, Olga, thank you all. There's a bunch of people in here. Let's comment. Let's get going, man. I mean, I have just had it up to here with all of this, with the constant attacking of Donald Trump. Constant attacking. And sometimes by his own party. Mitt Romney. I mean, come on. Mitt Romney's that's just sour grapes. He's mad because Donald Trump did what he couldn't do. And that's become the president of the United States. Absolutely, Jason. He is a businessman. And that is what this country needed. This country needed a businessman, and we got him when we needed him. I mean, and you got, now, since we're on the topic of this coronavirus nonsense and these lies, and now wait, since they found all this corruption in Florida, what is it with Florida? You remember back in the 90s with the hanging chads and the elections, and now Florida again is the epicenter of corruption. I mean, Florida, hey, can you get your act together? It's okay for me because I'm doing what I do and I'm right in the center of it, which is great. I'm like, I got the best of both worlds. I'm from New York, and then I'm living in Florida, and I got these two governors that are just clashing and they're fighting, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, this is a preview of an upcoming presidential election, without a doubt in my mind. Maybe not 2024, maybe 2032, because I think if Donald Trump wins in 2024, he's going to gain enough momentum for the Republican Party where they can put on in 2024 who they're considering. And I don't know if a lot of you heard this yet, but they're not considering who you think they were considering. They are actually talking about, and let's keep this between us, Tucker Carlson. I mean, I'm good with that. Tucker Carlson in 2024. We'll keep him in for, for 2 terms. And, oh my God, I would love to spend the next 12 years watching the left bang their head against the wall. Just complete degenerates. And the best part, the funniest thing to me is, I think it was, hiding Joe Biden from his basement, peeked his head out the other day and actually said that he's concerned that Donald Trump won't leave office if he loses, that he won't accept defeat. What the hell have you guys been doing for the last 4 years? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was not a single piece of legislation introduced by the House of Representatives over the last 4 years, because they spent 3 of those years on that sham impeachment, along with the Mueller investigation that literally yielded nothing and wasted hundreds of millions, I venture to say, of taxpayer dollars. Because you think about it, all of the hours that the prosecutors put in, all of the hours that Mueller put in, all of the hours that investigators put in, I mean, it adds up. It adds up. No, I agree with you 100%, Tammy. I totally, oh no, I'm sorry, that's, Tammy. Candace would be an amazing, amazing first female president. I would support her in a minute. I think most COVID-19 numbers are lies, without a doubt. Mr. Davis, without a doubt. And what bothers me is that we don't know who's lying, who's not. We can just have our own theories and our own hypothesis and our own opinions and our own independent thought. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what drives the Democrats crazy. The ability to think for yourself. Because if the Democrats had it their way, we would all be in shackles. Black, white, yellow, brown, E.T., Godzilla, King Kong, doesn't matter. We would all be in shackles if they had it their way. I mean, and listen, I sit here and I bash CNN on a daily basis, right? And rightfully so. They deserve it. But I've always said that I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. So Jake Tapper, anchor on CNN, came out and completely annihilated Il Duce, Governor Cuomo. Jake Tapper says, New York State has lost more than 32,000 lives to COVID-19. So while it's great that the numbers have gone down, it's perplexing, to see crowing. No other state has lost as many lives, not even close. New Jersey is next with 17,000. Bravo, Jake Tapper. I give credit where credit is due. Thank you for calling out this scum, this trash, this murderer. And that's what Cuomo is. He has the blood of over 6,000 elderly on his hands. And I'm not going to talk about that again. I've talked about it on past broadcasts. But if you don't know why he has the blood of 6,000 elderly on his hands, go look it up. And I'm sure most of you know. I have an intelligent audience. You guys are great. So I'm sure you guys know exactly what he did. I think both him and Big Bird, the dope from Park Slope, de Blasio, I think they're both equally as terrible, equally as miserable. The only difference is de Blasio is just plain stupid and incompetent. Cuomo is a slithery, scummy snake. And he's not stupid. Andrew Cuomo is far from stupid. Andrew Cuomo, and I got this firsthand from somebody that knows him personally, that knew him when he was much younger, working at the White House. He used to intern at the White House when his father was just running for governor of New York, right? So this person that used to work with him at the White House said that his only ambition in life has always been to be president of the United States. Now, this goes back to what I've been saying over the last month, that I don't think that the Democrats are going to bring out the GIMP for the debates. And by the GIMP, I mean Biden. They're not going to walk him out of the basement, like a horse to the grazing fields. They're not going to do that, because President Trump would completely annihilate him. He would eat him up. That's why they've been building Cuomo up. And I think Jake Tapper threw a huge monkey wrench in that, because over the last couple of weeks, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, they all done pieces on Cuomo, making him look like a good governor. He's the absolute worst. He's the absolute worst. Let me give you some details about the lovely Andrew Cuomo. And this is off the top of my head, I swear. This is not, I didn't plan to even talk about him. So he had a deal that he came to with somebody, and they were to build solar plants in Buffalo, New York. So they got money. New York State got freed up about $800 million, something to that effect, $800 million. And construction started on the solar plant, and they never finished it. There was some kind of problems, delaying construction, delaying materials, delaying this, delaying that. Nobody asked, where is the money? Just like they didn't ask Chirlane McCray, the wife of Big Bird, where that $850 million is that she wasted, that she was given when she was put in charge of the Thrive program. For those of you that don't know, I brought up Chirlane McCray last night, and I called her a pig, which she is, but again, I never meant to insult pigs. It's just, it's a term of hatred. But I love pigs. I think they're cute. Not Chirlane McCray. This pig is not cute. She was put in charge of the Thrive program by her husband, because that's not a conflict of interest. And the Thrive program was a program to help homeless vets who have mental disorders in New York. Now, those of you who have been to New York City, those of you from New York City, know that you can't walk 10 feet without a homeless man or woman coming up to you, asking you for money, asking for this, asking for that, some acting outlandishly, some acting completely normal, and they seem fine. And these are the people she was supposed to help. And she was given $1 billion budget. $850 million to date is unaccounted for. And again, nobody is talking about this. Nobody is talking about this. Absolutely, Danger. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Danger Davis here says, just like in California, started a bridge highway job, got a large sum of money, but didn't finish. And now, these liberal-led cities and states, in the same breath that they just say the worst things possible about Donald Trump, in the same breath, at the end of the sentence, they're asking for money. So, for example, and I do this because I hate this man, de Blasio. I cannot stand him. In Russian, we call him debilio. Debil. That's what he is. And for all my Russians, I don't have to explain to you what that is. That's what he is. Forget about it. I mean, there's not enough words in the English language, nor Russian, because I could sit here and curse him out in English and Russian and some of the few Spanish things I learned from my wife. I could sit here and curse him out in 3 languages, and it still would not be enough to describe what kind of piece of trash he is. Okay? So, on the same day that he was out in front of Trump Tower painting that Black Lives Matter garbage on the street, he was, at the end of that day, he asked for $7 billion from the federal government. I mean, listen, I'm from New York. I love New York. But President Trump, you should not give that man anything. Nothing. You should give him a quick kick in the behind and tell him to get the hell out of here and not come back. You got New York, California, Mr. Davis, 2 of the highest state income taxes in the country. In the country. But yet they're 7, 8, 9, 10 billion below budget in debt. Meanwhile, Florida has 0 state income tax and the budget's balanced. Now, de Blasio, this imbecile, he's blaming everything on coronavirus. I mean, all of it. The violence in New York, the kids that got killed in New York, his inability to lead, his inability to be a father, his inability to be a husband, his inability to be a human being, his inability to do anything. It's all coronavirus and Donald Trump's fault. You follow me on that? So, pardon me. Let's move right along. I'm going to move, I got about another 7 minutes left. I want to talk about this because this is really important. I want to touch on this real quick before I move on to the last thing I want to talk about. So I don't know if you guys have been following international news. So in Iran, their nuclear sites are getting systematically dismantled one by one from the inside. Oops. I'm good with it. Unlike Obama, who gave $150 billion in cash to one of the leading terrorist nations in the world, I think that our president is doing the complete opposite, and I think that there's another country involved, and you guys aren't stupid. You know who our biggest ally is, in the Middle East especially, and I think we have people in place that are systematically dismantling these nuclear sites one by one. Rightfully so. Iran should not be trusted. I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow because I'm going to look into it a little bit more and try to get a pattern of how things have been going on because, again, my opinion, I think it's the United States and Israel working hand in hand, working together to do this. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think they need to continue it, and I think they need to expand it past Iran. There's a lot of countries in the Middle East that would love to see us, and they would love to see Israel suffer. Okay? So, real quick, I'm going to touch on two final things. Cancel culture. So, first, it's the Washington Redskins. So, for all of you that don't know, the Washington Redskins are an NFL football team, pro football team, and they have been called the Washington Redskins since the beginning of the NFL. So now, they're no longer going to be the Washington Redskins because of this cancel culture nonsense brought up by the libs. So, while they do absolutely nothing to Deshaun Jackson, for those of you that don't know, Deshaun Jackson is a player in the NFL who came out publicly with anti-white and anti-Semitic remarks. And make no mistake about it, folks, cancel culture, it's not about racism, xenophobia, misogyny, or any of the things cancel culture claims to be about. Cancel culture is strictly about power. Okay? Cancel culture has to find new crap to be offended by. You know, again, I'm going to go with the Redskins. 1,000 Native Americans were polled, and 9 out of 10 of them could give a crap. Whether they're called the Redskins, the Blueskins, the Indians, they don't care. Because it's not important. It's just another distraction. My God. I mean, you liberal social justice warriors out there, you have to go to lengths to find stuff to be offended by. You literally search for crap to be offended by. I mean, most of you don't have jobs, so what else are you going to do besides protest and search for things to be offended by, and then search for safe spaces to hide in after people like me call people like you on your nonsense? If you have to look for things to be offended by, chances are you were never offended in the first place. You can't not talk about black on black crime, but then talk about getting rid of the Washington Redskins, the Cleveland Indians names, the Texas Rangers names in the same breath. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. You get no respect from me. I definitely won't take you seriously. Come on. I mean, there's a new article that came out and in the Washington Post, and it was literally written, and the irony is just too awesome to be a lie, written by a journalist named Karen, right? So she came out and literally said that the Texas Rangers name now needs to go. It's not about being offended again, ladies and gentlemen. It's about power. It's a pure power play to push back and weaken resistance. They want, I'm trying to find the easiest way to explain this. They want to find a way and use their power play and their completely twisted ideology and ram it down our throats and expect us to swallow it and ask for more. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And there are people that do see the light. And I'm going to end on this. So a family member of mine, and I'm not going to mention any names, but she is my family, and she used to be, I guess, what you would call a Democrat, a liberal, whatever. And she was in discussions today with another close person to me, and this is what she had to say. This is from a person that literally switched from the Democratic Party to a full-fledged Republican, because I'm not here to say that Republicans are better or it's better to be a conservative than a Democrat, but today, the Republican Party is the party of common sense. So let me read you word for word what this person said. And I think it's spot on. I think it was a brilliant statement. Just hear me out. It'll take me a couple of seconds to read this. The Democrats see the facade, not the reality. I mean, the system should have something in place for people who need it. But the Democrats have it to the point where they don't want you to work. Literally, me 4 years ago. She's referring to herself here. I was at the county applying for more help because I couldn't make ends meet being a single mom of 2 boys. They literally told me to quit my second job so I can qualify for help. Do you guys hear this? They told her to quit her second job. This woman is out trying to earn a living for her family, to support her sons, and they told her to quit her second job so she could get more benefits. You following that? I mean, Jesus. Even though, and back to quoting, even though I could barely put food on the table, I was so mad. I said, wait, what? How does that even make sense? I'm doing what I can to make it on my own, and I need help, and in order to get the help, I needed to give up on myself and go down to one job. This is why America is the way it is. Thank God I got enough sense and became an insurance agent in a 6-month period back in, and I'm not going to give the year. After that meeting with the county for help, I decided to change my life, and I'm finally off the system. But see, I used to say it's the way it's supposed to be used. I used it when needed and made sure I was off of it the following year. So yeah, it's hard to not want to free when they twist your arm to stay in the system, of course, absolutely. But yeah, I don't talk to any Latinos up here unless they are business owners, because it's like talking to a brick wall about politics. So this is not important. Democrats literally teach these county managers how to get them to sign off their rights to stay on the system with their forms and applications. It drives me nuts, because I lose Medicare clients who are both Medicare and Medicaid, and these morons at the county switch their health plan without their consent. And all of this is thanks to the Obama administration. This comes directly from a former Democrat who is now part of our Common Sense Party. And I give her all the credit in the world, because it takes a very big person to admit their original ideology was corrupted and wrong and switch over to the winning team. And that's what we are. We are the winning team. We've come to the end, and as usual, I'm going to finish this up with a quote like I do every night. This one comes from Mark Twain. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between dog and man. And with that, I say good night. Thank you for joining me. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow.